Okay, let's get right into it. We are watching a crisis unfold in real time. A conflict in the Middle East has just slammed the brakes on the world's most critical energy artery. And right now, the global economy is holding its breath. We're going to unpack how one single waterway is threatening to tip the entire world into recession. I mean, to really get how serious this is, you just have to listen to these 5 words from former White House advisor Bob McNally. This isn't just about gas prices. According to the experts, this is about the stability of the entire global financial system. The stakes just could not be higher.
And yeah, this is the headline. The one that sent shockwaves rippling through, well, basically every major capital and trading floor on the planet. The single most important energy choke point on Earth is, for all practical purposes, shut down. So the big question is, how on earth did we get here so fast? I mean, we're talking about an escalation from a tense but stable situation to the brink of a global catastrophe. And it all happened in less than a week.
So look at how fast this all went down. On February 28th, the US and Israel launched this operation. Not even 24 hours later, Iran hits back. And then, the very next day, they pulled the trigger on the one move the world has dreaded for decades. They officially declare the Strait of Hormuz closed. And just like that, by March 3rd, you have this massive maritime traffic jam. We're talking over 150 tankers just stuck, anchored, with oil flow completely stopped. Zero.
You can guess what happened next, right? The market reaction was, well, it was immediate and it was brutal. Brent crude, the international benchmark, was hovering around a pretty chill $67 a barrel just before all this started. In a matter of days, it skyrocketed past $82. That jump, that's the instant jaw-dropping price tag of this conflict.
Okay, to really get why this one little spot on the map is causing a global meltdown, you have to understand the geography. We're talking about one single, unbelievably narrow strip of water that basically has the world's economy in a chokehold.
The Strait of Hormuz. It's what connects the oil-rich Persian Gulf to, well, everywhere else. To put it simply, it is the planet's energy jugular. No exaggeration. All right, let's throw some numbers out here so you can feel the scale of this. Every single day, 20 million barrels of oil flow through that strait. And that number? That's a full 20%, 1/5 of all the petroleum the entire world uses in a day. But wait, it gets even more wild. If you just look at the oil that travels by sea, we're talking about nearly a third of it, all of it, sailing through this one choke point. And here's the kicker. There's really no easy way to just go around it. So who is most desperate for this oil? Well, look at this. A whopping 84% of it is headed straight for Asia. We're talking about the giant manufacturing economies: China, Japan, India, South Korea. These are nations that don't have a lot of their own energy resources. So for them, this isn't just an economic headache, this is a full-blown national security crisis.
Okay, so here's where the story gets a crazy twist. The incredible irony in all of this? Just a few weeks ago, the global oil market was dealing with the complete opposite problem. Not a shortage, a massive oversupply, a glut.
This contrast really is the heart of the story. Before the war, the reality was a world swimming in too much oil. Prices were falling, and everyone was forecasting they'd drop into the 50s. And today? Totally different universe. We have a massive supply shock, prices are surging, and analysts are now warning that 100-plus oil is just around the corner. 2 completely different worlds, separated by just a handful of days.
Yeah, that pre-war world was just defined by abundance. I mean, supply was outpacing demand by millions of barrels every single day. U.S. production was absolutely smashing records. And OPEC Plus, the group of major oil producers, they were actually increasing how much they were pumping. The world was practically swimming in cheap oil.
So that all brings us to the billion-dollar question, right? What happens next? Well, analysts have basically mapped out 4 potential futures, and let me tell you, they range from, okay, we can handle this, to full-blown economic catastrophe.
Okay, look at the possibilities here. In the best-case scenario, a really quick de-escalation, prices could fall back to where they were. But if we get a partial disruption that lasts a few months, that could easily push oil over $100 a barrel and take a bite out of global GDP. And then you get to the scary stuff. A full blockade, or even worse, the conflict spreading. That's when we're talking about a severe recession, with oil prices we haven't seen since the 2008 financial crisis.
Now, I know this can all feel like some distant geopolitical drama, but the consequences of this crisis are heading straight for your wallet. Let's break down exactly how this affects you, personally.
The thing is, almost everything we buy and do is connected to the price of oil. The most obvious hit? It's going to be at the gas pump, for sure. But it doesn't stop there. Higher fuel costs mean it's more expensive to ship all the stuff we buy, to fly anywhere, and believe it or not, even to produce our food. And since oil is a key ingredient in everything from plastics to fertilizers, you can bet the price of everyday items is going to go up. That's inflation, plain and simple.
And that's really where we are right now. The world is caught in this bizarre tug-of-war. On one side, you have the underlying reality of a world that should have plenty of cheap energy. And on the other, you have this geopolitical nightmare creating a supply shock that we haven't seen in 50 years. What happens next? The fate of the entire global economy now hinges on what happens in one narrow, contested strip of water.